Alrighty. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Cordelia, reporter, been out here covering the protests for over 100 days. Taken several days off, actually, had to. Medical mostly. Yeah, it's been interesting. I came out here today just to check out what's going on. I was hearing about all the mutual aid situation. This has been interesting. There's like 5 different groups going here right now. There's so much.
So, and what alerted you to the existence of this thing? How'd you find out about it?
Well, I myself have kind of been bedridden. I had injured my back a little while ago, and then I was hearing about all my journalist friends coming out here and checking out what was going on and seeing that this place was starting to build in size, and I was like wanting to come see what was going on here. Yeah, there's just so much mutual aid. People, just anything you need, just ask somebody and they'll just be like direct you right to the tent to go find it. Pretty cool. I just seen a kid a minute ago running around in an adult-size gas mask.
That's why I was distracted. I was over there photographing.
That was interesting to see. Yeah.
Nice. And have you been covering any of the fire?
I actually went down south a little while ago, yesterday afternoon, and a little ways down near Sweet Home to check out, see what like the smaller towns were like, how inundated they were with smoke, and it was kind of interesting. Portland and most of the way down there has pretty equal quality for air, but there are some towns that are hitting up near the 700-800s. Somebody sent me a screenshot on that trip that was saying something almost 1,200 parts per million. So like unheard of amounts of carbon in the air in some of these towns. I mainly went down south because I know you guys have probably been hearing about, like, over towards Molalla, Estacada, Clackamas, there's been some alt-right militia groups that have been forming. So I decided I wanted to go down south to try and avoid that. So that was interesting. We didn't really run into much alt-right militia groups blocking off certain towns or anything like that. It was pretty peaceful, pretty quiet. There wasn't many people out on the road.
And did you see any towns that were just gone? Or?
No. So as we were trying to head east towards the fires from Sweet Home and all that, there's only so far you can go before it's completely blocked off.
And for people not familiar with Oregon, like in relation to Portland, where would they see Sweet Home on the map?
So just east of like Eugene, Salem, up in that, somewhere in between there, just east. Very small little area, town. It's very quiet. Very. All the buildings there are very old. So it's one of those really old towns. It's really beautiful if you can just admire the architecture, the people, the culture. I mean, some of these towns have been kind of inundated in the rural with a lot of Trump mentality, alt-right mentality, and some of it's not so great, but yeah, it's been interesting to see since the protests have diminished but not really ended, and then like the response to the fires. It's been really interesting to watch. It's been my fellow journalists that have been out there covering the frontline protests. They're just transitioning right into the fire coverage, and it's really interesting.
Like the rest of us, we've all done that.
Yeah.
You know John Meyer.
Yeah.
He was just posted about that. We've all shifted our efforts, all the live streamers, and he said it's like now it's an independent news. It's like Uber, but for news.
Yeah. It's almost like the Gonzo News Network or something.
Yes.
Don't know what to call it exactly, but yes, there's a ton of independent journalists and reporters that are out here. Some of them have a history of publications. Some of them are just trying to start off and get themselves.
I'm an engineer.
Yeah. Some people have, the audio tech or the video tech abilities, and they're sitting there and just putting themselves on the front lines, recording some of this stuff just so that people can be aware. People know. I feel that's one of the most important jobs. I mean, without people being able to see what's going on, the truth's not going to get out.
I call it radical community media.
I dig it.
It's involved. It's because we are part of the community.
I dig it.
Our RCM.
streaming in support of the community and not, you know, for some bullshit story that's whatever the news corporations
The
decide.
interesting one that has emerged during all this with the wildfires is the Antifa's coming out to the
I know,
boonies
right?
and starting the fires. And then there's actually been a response back from like the alt-right propagandist Andy No.
I saw
and
that. Yeah,
Tim
that was
Pool,
impressive.
And a bunch of those guys saying, "Oh, there's no real evidence," but I mean, there's this one-off, and it's like, "Well, you guys are sitting there saying there's no evidence," and you're like, "There's still this." And it's like, really? What's with the whataboutisms, you know?
Right, right.
Facebook announced they're removing all posts that are, I don't know if you saw that. Even like a spokesperson for Facebook said they're removing posts that are trying to blame us.
Yeah, there was
Blame Antifa.
there was a Cop Watch activist, Robert West. He was out there and he was in Clackamas and he was talking to one of the sheriffs, and one of the sheriffs made the outlandish just statement of like Antifas are out here lighting fires or something like that, and I'm just like, excuse me? And then there was another video of like him meeting supposedly the same officer. It sounds like him, but on one of the videos he's not on camera. And like literally him sitting there talking to militia groups, explaining to them how to get away with stopping people and
Put a knife in
searching
their
them.
hand.
And
Do you think that guy's
if
coming here?
there's a death, put a knife in their hand or something like that.
Sorry?
I'm just watching a police car.
Oh, cops rolling by. They've left us alone so far. They haven't done more than go back and forth.
I mean, what are they going to do? Drop a tear gas canister? I mean, the air can't get any worse.
It's hard not to worry about it.
Well, most people have like gas masks off the side ready to go.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. We were all
There's
immediately
children here, too.
prepared to show up for this because we have all the gear.
Yeah, I was talking about that with another journalist friend of mine, Leslie McLam at Human 42 LM. Talking to her, I was like, literally, we're pretty much prepped for the fire, and we weren't even needing to be at the last moment like, oh, where do we get a gas mask? I have a small collection going right now of different ones.
Yeah.
I had to upgrade from my original one, and then so got a new one, and then
It's
now
a nice one. I was looking at one like that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the model is on this
I
guy.
think it's the 3M.
Yeah, it's
Right.
3M. I just ended up with this one because it was the best one that I could find at the moment.
I have the same one.
I think it's something 6800. Something like that.
It's good. It's like the only one that you can buy right out.
Mostly
is the
cloudy.
P100.
Just a bit.
So yeah, I mean, if there's anything else you guys want to know, I think my ride was just actually getting ready and eyeballing me when they were walking by.
Your birthday's coming up. How old are you going to be?
32.
Ah,
Getting
you're
old.
good.
Youngin'.
I'll be 45 in a couple months. So. Hey, this is what you have to.
All right, this kid.
Right.
This, no,
44
we
looks
need to
okay.
clean up the cigarette butts.
Well, it's been fun, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Corey.
No,
I'll catch up with you guys.
Cheers.
Stay safe.
You too.
this is not chill spot. This is outside. This is
Okay.
not everybody that is
That was an interview with Corey Elliott.
Ease up a little bit.
I want to find a mask and put it on. There's a woman. They've been trying to keep people out of there, but there's a woman without a mask just rifling through everything right there.
Yeah, there's extra cloth masks on that table over there. All right, everybody. Back to work. Just a quick little interview there. Maybe we'll come back for more later. Thanks for watching.